And so Dr. Crusher's, looking them over, and she's like, I don't know what the hell's going on. Like, they have, like, no visible signs of illness or whatever.
Right.
And then she figures out, like, oh, they're just jonesing. Like,
right, because she watches what happens once they get the Breckians are like, okay, they can have a dose.
Yeah.
And because they don't want them to...
Well, I mean, it's... Like, with addiction, the actual physical ailment doesn't last as long. Like, once you get past the withdrawal, like, once you get past, like, the shakes and everything, all that's left is the psychological ailment.
Right.
So, I mean, they might still think that they need it, but they're not going to be, like, in pain and suffering.
Right. Well, that's why the Breckians...
And so they step in, they're like, yeah, give them that, that's cool. And Crusher's like, dude...
You were just on about, like...
Like, we need the money, man.
Yeah.
Just give us the money, Lebowski.
Pretty much. And so, yeah, she figures out once she watches them dose, like, they're getting high.
She puts two and two together. She's like...
Because she's a smart lady.
She's like, that's some shit. That's some dope.
Ain't that some shit?
Ain't that some shit? They're fucking on drugs. They're druggies.
What do you think about that,
They're
Cassie
chasing
Bird?
the dragon. And so... The rest of the episode kind of centers around, what does Picard do about this? Does he be like, hey, fuck you guys are... And the Breckians, like, there was
an actual plague.
That the Breckians, like, cured themselves of it, and then the Ornarans got it, and then they cured them, and then they're like, the Breckians were like, oh, this is a narcotic, like, we could get addicted to this. They're like, they're like painkillers, like,
right.
So get some codeines, get some codone.
Right, they make for a fun weekend, but they're not a lifestyle, kids.
Exactly. And they're like, oh, well, like, these fools will pay us tons of money. They're drug dealers.
Yeah. They're Ivy League drug dealers. Like, they look like they're on vacation from, like... They're
like skiing in Vail.
Yeah, exactly. They're on vacation from UC Irvine.
And so Picard has to figure out, what is he going to do? Is he going to...
Right, well, how does this interact with the Prime Directive?
And here's another thing. The Prime Directive, Into Dorkness, brought to you by the official energy juice of the podcast Mountain Dew Kickstart.
Yeah.
It's my second one. I've already killed one in like 17 minutes.
I'm going to get a cola. You talk.
So, Picard's always about the Prime Directive, which is a complete 180 from Kirk, who was like, Prime Direct? I kind of recall something about a Prime Direct. Whatever.
The Prime Directive is Picard's girlfriend.
Pretty much. He's like, he doesn't go anywhere without her. She's always coming up in like the worst situations. Like, Picard, let's go hang out. Like, oh, I could, but the Prime let's go watch Pacific Rim.
Oh, I can't. Prime Directive isn't off till Monday.
So Picard, he's like, look, I'm not gonna interfere with this at all. And Crusher's like, what the fuck, dude?
You gotta help him, bro.
And Picard's like, I can't. It's in the Prime Directive. Can't do that. And the Breckians are like, all right. And then so they get the drugs to the Ornarans, and then he tells the Ornarans like, hey, I'm not gonna help you repair your ship. And he's like, what the fuck? If we don't have the ship, we can't, get the shipments all the time. It's like, oh, well. And the Breckians are like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, oh, yeah, you were all cool with the Prime Directive. Because they bring up, it's like, what of your Prime Directive, Captain? He's like, yeah, you're all cool with it when it was benefiting you.
Right.
Now it's a dick in the ass, so you can fucking fuck off.
It's like Chang taking over his drugs on that episode of Community. Did you think I wouldn't change?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what the Prime Directive is.
So he
sends him down, and basically that's where it ends. And he's like, "It's not an easy choice," or something like that, right?
Yeah, and then he tells Geordi, like, set a course. He's like, for where? He's like, fucking anywhere.
That's not here.
Anywhere away from here.
Anywhere far away from this opium den.
This Chinese opium den. I think I saw Sherlock Holmes hanging around somewhere. Then. That in and of itself, it's a good episode. But then you shoehorn this Tasha Yar like anti-drug speech,
like something they would have showed to us in a class video.
It's like, it's Star Trek. It's cool. Tasha Yar saying why you should say no to drugs.
Do you remember when we were? I think it was when we were like 6 or 7.
Never took Dare.
It wasn't. It might have been like funded.
Let me just put that out there right now.
You missed Dare? Because you weren't in Texas?
No, I was in Texas.
They just didn't have it at your school? They were like, fuck it, these kids are all addicted already.
What?
I got it in 6th grade.
Oh, yeah. I was in Lubbock, Texas.
I wonder why you didn't get it.
I don't know. Maybe they're like...
Though also the dare...
These kids are going to Smiley and Coronado. Smiley Junior High and Coronado High School.
Remember those awesome black dare shirts with the red writing on them?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The year I was in dare, they had like these like heather gray ones with this like green design on it, and I was like, this is bullshit.
Like, I want a badass black shirt that says dare.
Right, that looks like it's written in the blood of drug dealers.
Like, you gonna spell dope? Dare. And they dip their blood. We dare you. They dip their fingers in the blood and then write it in the shirts.
But do you remember when we were kids and there was this Bugs Bunny cartoon? It was like all these cartoon characters show up and it's basically this half an hour long cartoon about how you shouldn't do drugs. And it's Bugs Bunny and this kid, but like the Ninja Turtles are in it. I think the Ghostbusters might have showed up at one point.
I don't think so. I don't remember that.
I remember my grandmother taped it because she's like, oh, it's a Bugs Bunny thing. And she would always tape Looney Tunes so I'd have things to watch so she wouldn't have to talk to me, I guess, whenever I was a kid. Those will buy me half an hour.
You're the worst. Your grandmother says or thinks.
If anybody remembers what the name of that special was, like I hadn't thought about it for 20 years.
There you go. It's Star Trek is unlocking all sorts of repressed memories.
But that speech is horrible. And it feels like it's from a different thing. It doesn't even feel like it's a part of a piece, you know? It's like they're like, well, we've got this drug thing, but the writing in that scene, like the acting, and it may be Denise Crosby's delivery, I don't know. But there's not much you can do with that.
It's partly that, but you're exactly right with that. Like, Wesley's supposed to be a genius. I mean, and maybe
he's a Mozart in training.
But maybe he's just like he's so
emotionally
exactly. So he's like, why would people want to do drugs? You know, like legitimately. Like, right. I mean, I don't know.
He's like Max Fisher. He's really smart, but you say, you know, hand jobs or fucking, and he's like, that's kind of a crude way to put it.
Not if you ever fucked. It's not.
Yeah. But did you see at the very end of the episode when I think it's Crusher and Picard are walking out of the docking bay where they're beaming everybody down? Denise Crosby's in the back of the set waving.
And she's like, see you later.
Because they actually filmed that one after Skin of Evil.
Yeah.
Fun fact. I guess you read Wikipedia too from time to time?
Well, you told me.
Oh, did I already tell you that?
You've told me in person and on the Facebook page, facebook.com/Into Dorkness.
I just asked if you saw it. But you didn't answer. You were too busy yelling at me about Spider-Man.
The jazz scene, the jazz dance scene.
Oh, fuck that scene, man. That hurt to watch.
Yeah.
Like Spider-Man 2, so fucking good.
Amazing Spider-Man. Meh.
Better or worse than Spider-Man 3?
Better, because I mean, there's nothing
as bad as that scene.
Overtly bad about it. Did you notice in This Is the End? When James Franco, I think he's biting into the Milky Way, and he goes, good.
Is that a deliberate reference to the
Spider-Man 3? Yeah. Oh, yeah, how could it not be? Anyway, Skin of Evil, the death of Tasha Yar.
Which happens really early in the episode.
And
little fanfare.
I mean, if I'm to be correct, no other main character dies throughout the series.
I don't believe so, no.
Which, I mean, if they had gone a different route with that, I think, like, they could have gone, like, hey, like they're obviously don't start killing them off.
Right.
Like, you know, like...
But, like, Lost every now and then would kill a major character.
Would you, like, hey, like, you know, don't get too comfortable. Like, this, like, the dangers are real.
Right.
In space.
This is the danger zone.
Right? All of space is the danger zone. Not just like, you know...
The neutral zone.
Not just, you know, some no-fly territory over the Middle East. All of space. All of it.
All of it. As soon as you leave Earth's atmosphere, you're in the danger zone.
So they're looking for Counselor Troy, who was off...
She was on a mish.
On a solo mish, I guess.
And her shuttle gets, shorts out over this planet.
And they crash. And so they go to save her and the other people on the ship.
Right.
And they make it to the ship, and there's this like black oil slick, pretty much.
This sentient oil slick.
And it's like, what's going on?
I really didn't like the voice they used for it. It was like a cartoon monster, like, rah, 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 I am evil. But whatever, it's still an okay episode. It's fine.
So,
but I remember this one very specifically. This is one of the
as
episodes.
a kid?
Yeah,
Okay.
It's one of the first ones I remember seeing, and I remember thinking, "Oh, they killed somebody. Like that's fucked up." I thought at age 4.
That's super fucked up.
That's crazy fucked up, Dad. And he's like, "Right?
Right. Well, she's not that great of a character.
Yeah."
So.
He's like, "Well, I'm not gonna miss her."
And you're like, huh? And he's like, yeah, it's super fucked up.
Yeah, it's totally fucked up.
Yeah,
no,
whatever.
but there's an image in there that always haunted me. This is a haunting episode.
Very haunting.
Which is Riker getting dragged into the black puddle and the marks his fingers leave in the dirt. Like, that really freaked me out when I was 4.
Yeah, no, I mean, like
I was like, oh,
that's probably the best part of the episode.
Yeah.
Is and like those marks, it's a little things, you know, like that actually like that stick with you.
Well, and he really sells the panic too. Like, he looks like he's terrified he's going to die.
Well, so they get to this oil slick, and
it's cock blocking them from saving their friend.
yeah, and they're like, you know, what's going on? You're like, is it alive? And Data's like, I can't tell or not. And it calls Data Tin Man, which I'm like, dude.
How would you know?
What?
How would he know that?
Oh, I thought you were like, because I watched the episode, dude.
No, that's the evil dude.
I guess because he can tell.
He can access their memory. He can read their feelings and stuff. He feeds off of them. He's made of feelings.
So he's like, this fool doesn't have feelings. So he's either ghosting, he's either Will, or he's either Cypher or Catan Rage, or he's an android.
Right.
It's only like one of like
one or two
two
or
and a
three.
half choices, kind of. Whatever. Look,
He's a Tin Man.
He's a Tin Man. So ends up attacking Tasha Yar, and
Kills her.
They take her back, and like, you know, they're like,
There's a pretty intense scene in Medical Bay where...
And yeah, Crusher's like, blah, blah, like, I'm trying to fix her, like she's a machine, like she's Data.
They're using the 24th century equivalent of, like, the paddles.
And then at one point, Crusher's like, I can't, you know, she's like...
Complete brain death.
There's too much damage, like, there's too much something damage. Like,
it might have been neural damage, like her brain.
I think she said, like, you know, synaptic damage. Like, she's like, I can't save her. It's like it's like the thing sucked. The dude, the oil slick is named Armus.
Armus sucked the life
out of her, and then everyone's like, oh shit. And
it's kind of and I was shocked at, again, how early it happens and how casual it is too.
Yeah.
Like, it just slaps her aside and she's gone. That's it.
And like I said, I thought maybe that was like a thing, you know, like they would go in that direction. Like, hey, like people can die at any time, like, you know, because you come across something you don't know, you don't know what it's, you know don't know what it is, you don't know what it's capable of. It, you know, it
can surprise you.
It could get you. You could get got.
That would be cool. I'd be sad to lose any more of these characters, but at the same time,
maybe just like, I mean, for 7 seasons, maybe like
one or two
more. Yeah. Wesley for sure. Yeah. I mean, although I like Wesley, but
let's make the fans happy.
I could do without him, you know.
He's barely around this week, isn't he?
Yeah, he's barely around.
Like, I kind of forgot about him.
And maybe
he's there to get some lectures about drugs and to mourn the passing of a friend.
Between Dr. Crusher. Okay, let's say we had to kill 2 characters off throughout the next 6 seasons.
6 seasons.
Wesley Crusher for sure. So pretty much we got left Troy, Dr. Crusher, Riker, Geordi, Data, Worf. I'm gonna say
it'd be cool if Worf died.
Like in
saving
everyone. Yeah. He's like, this is it. Yeah, but then he like shows up again. He becomes a really great character. So they go back to Armus, and that's when he grabs Riker and he drags him in, and you know, Riker's freaking out and, you know, gets sucked in.
An image that's haunted my nightmares for 2 decades.
And they can't tell if he's alive or dead or not.
Right. He surfaces him at one point, right? But you don't know if he's alive. It's just like, here he is.
Well, like, he's still covered in the goop.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
right.
And so, basically, this thing's like, the people, it's not his race, it's just like his
no,
homies?
the people on his planet, basically Jekyll and Hyde themselves. They got rid of all their negativity